Well, protesters at the Occupy ICE camp are taking aim at a food truck nearby. In fact, owners of that Portland food truck who use their profits to help the homeless say they've had it with the protest across the street, to the point that they're closing up shop and they're selling their cart. Now, to be clear, the protest we're talking about is Occupy ICE. That is the group camped out in front of the Department of Homeland Security building on Southwest Macadam. Owners of the Happy Camper Food and Coffee Bar say they've tried to stay out of conflicts between protesters and federal police, but they say the protesters have threatened them and told them to support their cause or suffer the consequences. Scott and Julie Higgs say it got worse when a federal police officer bought food from the cart, which at the time was being run by their 21-year-old daughter. Listen to what Scott says protesters told her.
If they catch her outside the cart, they're going to hurt her. They're constantly cussing at her and screaming at her. You know, she finally had enough. She was finally called me up on the phone, crying. Brianna, shut the doors. We're done.
Now, KGW reached out to the Occupy ICE camp about these accusations. We have not yet received a response. And we've also reached out to Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, who is the police commissioner, and says he's refused to send police down to that area. We'll let you know if and when we get a response.